Hello and welcome back to another video. Today Mary is getting her tracking done, and for those of you that don't understand what tracking is, I want to jump in the back, draw you a little diagram and show you exactly what's going to happen to Mary. Okay, so let's draw a really crude diagram. So this is the body of Mary, this is Mary's back axle, these are Mary's back wheels, this is the front axle, these represent the front wheels, this is the direction of travel, like that. Now the problem I've got, or the indicator that I've got that Mary's tracking is out, is because my steering wheel, when I'm going in a straight line, is slightly off like that, rather than being straight like this. And that is a dead cert indication that the tracking has been knocked out, probably by going over a pothole or hitting a curb. Now what is tracking? Tracking is called toe in, so the front wheels should always toe in slightly in this direction, like this. Toe in. So it is very, very minute, but it's very important as well. And the easiest way to explain the effect of toe in is to draw a really crude, again, hull of a boat. So this is the hull of a boat, the pointy end. Water pressure diverts water that way, it diverts water this way. Equal pressure on each side makes the boat go in a straight line, and it's the same with a vehicle. Because the wheels, I'll just draw some extra wheels to save paper, toe in slightly like this, they work against each other, keeping the vehicle going in a straight line. There are other factors affecting the steering geometry of a vehicle, and that is camber and caster. Camber and caster is what makes your steering go back to the centre when you let go of it. Say you take a sharp right hand corner, you let go of your steering wheel and it magically finds its way back to the centre. Well, that's due to camber and caster, but we won't talk about that because that'll just overcomplicate things. Okay, so once James has got Mary in the workshop, I'll just quickly go through what he's going to do. Again, we'll draw the same diagram. These are the back wheels, this is the direction of travel, front wheels. But before he touches any of the wheels, he's going to get Mary nice and level on the ramps, and then the steering wheel he's going to clamp in the position we want it to be when Mary is going a straight line. He's going to use a special device that attaches to the front seat, and it holds the steering wheel exactly where we want it to be. And by doing that, the front wheels will probably end up like this. After all, when I hold the steering wheel in this position, Mary wants to go off to the left, so that's where our front wheels are going to be ending up, and that is no good. So once we've got the steering wheel clamped, he will then attach the special device to the back wheel, because we want the back wheels lined up with the front wheels, and this device, and also on the front wheels, he's going to connect the same device. And this is now a machine is going to beam laser beams down to the back wheel, bounce it back to the front wheel. It will then read the results. A very crude picture. I'll show you what it looks like in a minute in the garage. And it's going to do it the same this side, laser beams going down there to there. And using these laser beams, knowing the front wheel is locked in position, he will then undo the tie rod ends that hold the front wheels together. They're on the end of the steering rack. So by adjusting these points here and here, which is a simple nut and bolt, he can then get the front wheels to be where they want to be, and the laser beams will tell him when they're in the right position. Does any of that make sense? I hope so. Let's hand Mary over to James and let him do his magic stuff, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's in the workshop and ready to go.
There we go.
Well done. Okay, so James has got the van up on the ramps. You can see the steering lock now in place. So that's going to hold the steering wheel and stop it from moving. So hopefully Mary's steering wheel will be nice and straight and level. But take a look at this. It's like something out of James Bond. Look at these laser beams. This is all the equipment they're going to be using to get Mary to run nice and straight. These are basically mirrors, and these are now going to guide those laser beams up to the computer and let James know where the steering's going to end up in the right place. Right, so let's get out of here and let James do his stuff. Thank you, James. So now you can see James making very small adjustments to those tie rod ends, and every time he turns those tie rod ends like a quarter of a turn, he'll look back at the computer to see what effect those adjustments have made on Mary's tracking. And it actually takes longer to set the computer up and all the laser beams up than it does to actually make the adjustments. The adjustments take a matter of minutes. It's the setting up that takes all the time. This guy won his TR6 in a raffle. It cost him 25 quid. Look at that. What an amazing story. Give him a thumbs up. Thank you, John.
Yeah, that chat just then was quite interesting.
You won that car.
Yeah, that's my father. Yeah, he's a jammy sod at times. But yeah, no, he managed to win that in a raffle somewhere.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, no, he loves it. Brilliant.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, thank you, James.
Thank you. I'm going to take one of these if that's alright.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
What a gentleman, eh? Anyway, let's take Mary for a drive now and see if she drives in a straight line. Now, the tracking's been done. I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine. So here we go, let's see if Mary drives in a straight line. Now, James has told me that my tyres are wearing a little bit uneven, which isn't surprising. I'm not surprised by that. So I think I might have caught this in the nick of time before going on any really... Oh, there goes my GPS tracker.
On A38 towards Kersey Lane.
So what I'm going to do is take the tyres off the back, well not tyres, the wheels and the tyres off the back of Mary and put them on the front. Basically swap them over, so then I can keep an eye on the wear.
Turn left onto A4019.
We're not going to go that way. And I can tell straight away it's made loads of difference. The steering wheel is now in the middle when Mary's going in a straight line. So that is a success. Thank you, James at Coombe's Garage. Well, I'm pleased to report that the drive back went without a hitch. Is that right? A hitch? It was a pleasant drive back, let's put it that way. And before we left, James was very kind enough to give me a printout of before the tracking was done and after the tracking was done. And I must say, I'm feeling a little bit smug because my estimate on where the wheels were positioned was pretty much spot on. So let's take a real close look at these. You may find it quite interesting. So this is the printout that James gave me. It's quite interesting and quite detailed. In fact, it's almost as good as my diagram that I drew earlier. Now this is the front axle, this is the rear axle. These figures here are the camber. This is the caster, which we're not really interested in. The bit we're interested in is the toe, and this is the toe in, like I mentioned earlier, the wheels toe in a little bit. Now, in my previous drawing, I predicted that the toe in on this side was a lot more than this side. And hey presto, I'm feeling a little bit smug because it is in fact 1.3 and this side is 0.06. So you can see this number is definitely higher than this number, and that's why Mary was driving with the steering slightly off to that one side. So this is why I'm feeling a little bit smug, because I was absolutely correct in my estimate. Now this is the after he did his work, and you can see now the toe in is equal on both sides, both set at 0.05, so that's half a degree, and the same this side, half a degree in, so it's very, very slight, extremely slight. And the camber, the caster are the same, and now it's absolutely spot on, and Mary drives absolutely in a perfect straight line. Now the other important thing about having good wheel alignment is tyre wear. If your wheel alignment isn't correct, then your tyres will wear unevenly, just like James was telling me earlier on. So for that reason, like I mentioned earlier, I will be swapping the front and the back tyres around and try and even out the wear of my tyres to make them last that little bit longer. And another important thing about tyres is the age, and if you're unsure about how to tell the age of your tyres, then do check out this video that I made earlier on in the week. I explained in simple terms how to tell the date your tyres were manufactured. Well, there you go. If you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up. Don't forget, if you're new to my channel, please do consider subscribing, and have a very good Christmas. Ta-ra for now.